How's everybody doing? We're on Australian Survivor Season 9, Episode 20. All right, last time we had a little flip where Sam pretended to have the idol, even though her and Mark didn't bring it to Tribal. She pretended to have the idol. Mark pretended to give her something. She pretended to have the idol. She said she was going to use it to protect herself. And it was a 3-3 split with because KJ used her advantage that sent 3 people home, which was Chrissy, Mark, and Josh, which leaved the only people left in our alliance was her, Sam, and Josh, and Dave. The other 3 being KJ, Shay, and Jordy. So it was a 3-3 split. But then Sam said she had that idol that she's going to use for herself, which means the only targets are going to be Jordan and Dave. So it was left in a spot where the other guys had to have to target one of the 2. And they already try to get Dave on side by saying if they sent themselves home back to the tribe, then Dave would end up going home out of the alliance because he would be the bottom of that alliance, which kind of set him up to kind of flip. And because of what Sam did with pretending to have the idol, he kind of had no choice. He had to throw votes on Jordan to save himself or risk it where if they go to rocks, him and Jordan are at risk, in his mind, because he didn't know Sam would be at risk as well because she didn't have an idol. So he was kind of forced to flip. Jordan ended up going home. They got back to the tribe, and of course, Josh, his cousin, just got sent home, so he's upset, and he's calling David. He calling Dave Judas, and all this stuff, and he's very upset. And now they're believing that their alliance is split 4 ways now with Chrissy, Josh, Sam, and Mark. They think they're split 4 ways with Dave on the other side. Dave told Chrissy that that he's going to flip back or whatever, and he really had no choice, something like that. And now Chrissy is considering getting rid of Sam because now they have so much power in the game. But Josh doesn't really want to do it, and he wants revenge on Jordy for his cousin going home. All right. Jordy's thinking about trying to flip. He's trying to flip Josh. He's thinking about trying to flip Josh. Not sure how he's going to go about that, but we'll find out later. Everyone is feeling good for from the move, except for the new alliance that are now split, and they were the majority before. All right. So there's that. Let's Sam and Mark are feeling pretty good. They're feeling pretty safe in the game, regardless of what just happened, because they were able to keep both idols and save themselves. And Sam is feeling good after that performance that she just made, where she faked having an idol that she didn't have. All right. So there we go. Let's get to the challenge. All right. The individual immunity challenge is more of a dominoes type of deal. It's all right, so it looks like this. All right, so they have this chute right here. All right, so, and there are a bunch of pieces, wooden block pieces. So they have to toss the ball up this chute, run, grab a piece, and stack it. All right, and then come back and grab the ball before it gets knocked out. They can't move the pieces unless the ball is rolling up the chute. All right, so if they accidentally knock down one of their pieces because they didn't catch the ball in time, or if they have a bunch of pieces and they stacked up and they end up knocking down most of them, they have to toss the ball and try to fix it and keep tossing the ball, catching the ball, tossing it, and fix it. So they can't fix it and then go and toss the ball and start over. So the ball always have to be in play and rolling if they're touching the pieces or going to grab a new piece. All right, and after they stacked it all the way, then they can take a shot and try to knock it off. So the goal is to knock one block off the platform by stacking a bunch of blocks in a row to get knocked over. All right, it's a pretty long platform. See if I can get an image of what it looks like. Hold on, let's see if I can get a. There we go. All right. Almost had it. It wasn't that exciting of a competition, but it was very tense. All right, so it looks like this. You can see they have a lot of ground to cover. They got the pieces there, but they're going to be going back and forth for a while, so it's pretty exhausting. Right off the bat, I think who was in the lead? I think Jordy was good for a while. He was in the lead for a while, but he accidentally knocked down a lot of his pieces, and he had to restack. Josh kind of was in the lead after that, but he knocked down a lot of his pieces as well, and then it became Mark in the lead, and he was very steady with it, and he didn't really knock down that much of his pieces. Then it came back where Mark finally knocked down a whole majority of his pieces. Then he had to restack, and Jordy was just getting off restacking and trying to catch up. And then there was Josh as well. They were going back and forth. And then Dave came out of the lead for a little bit, but then he also knocked down a lot of his pieces. And in the end, Mark ended up winning it because he only knocked down his pieces once, and he was the most steady in the competition. And then he was able to finish it off, and he won. All right. Hold on. Let's see if I can get an image of what. So show you what it looks like when they sort of knock the pieces down. See if I can get you an image. All right, so you see them stack up, and you got to knock it down, stack all the way up while tossing the ball, and then down all the way, and bam, fall in the bucket. That's how you win. All right. Yeah, so Mark ended up winning, and now he has 2 idols, and now he has the individual immunity idol as well. Yeah, so they're feeling good. They're feeling very confident. Jordy and his alliance, and they got together with David, and they decided they're going to vote for Sam, whatever, regardless. Jordy's willing to take the risk that if Sam plays an idol, he's going home. So that's pretty much their play. They're going to go for Sam. They're not going to go for any of the other 2, which is Josh or Chrissy. So it's a bold move. If it works, freaking amazing. If it doesn't, then they're back in minority. All right. Mark is pretty confident because Josh is upset with Jordy, and he wants to get revenge for his cousin. So he's set on getting rid of Jordy. He's pretty confident that, and also Chrissy is telling them that Dave is willing to flip back over, and he was just forced into that decision. So they're confident that that Dave is not going to be willing to go to Rocks for this new alliance, so he will flip. So they will have the majority regardless. Then Jordy made a bold play, talked to Josh, and he told him pretty much they can take control of the game, they can work together and keep each other safe, which is a great play. If they're playing with people that don't have as many accolades as they do, it's good to work together at that point. And he's saying that they're gonna go to final 3 and then battle it out with each other, and whoever wins takes whoever the other person is there that give them a better chance of winning. All right, so that's his pitch. It doesn't sound like a really good pitch to me, because if I was Josh, that would put me in a compromising position, because his alliance, regardless of what he wants to do, is still going to get rid of me. So I wouldn't take it. And but Josh didn't outright reject it. He's just saying he's going to have a real hard think about it. So I'm thinking that's a no. All right. But then Dave made a play that I didn't see coming. He went to Josh and he told him pretty much what happened. Pretty much he was forced into the position that he was in because of what Sam did, where Sam said she had an idol and she's going to play it for herself only. She didn't say there's a chance she's going to play it for someone else, you know, kind of to throw off the other people and to keep and to make, you know, Dave at least feel safe enough to vote with her. She didn't make that move. So as he's telling this to Josh, Josh is now realizing the main reason that his cousin went home is because of what Sam did, which is something that Sam was aware of, and she didn't want Josh to find out about it. Jordy didn't even tell him about it. It ended up being Dave doing it. So I've been sleeping on Dave a little bit because mainly because he sucks in competitions. I have a thing against people that can't compete. But his social play has been kind of impeccable for a while now. I mean, at the beginning of the game, he was kind of battling with Sandra, and he was very nervous. He was making a bunch of rookie mistakes. But as the game went on, his social play has just been freaking stellar. So I got to give that to him, man. He made that move, and he said what he was going to do. All right. So they get to tribal, and they start talking, and Dave immediately outed Sam, and he's saying she gave an Oscar-winning performance. The way she kind of played she played like she had an idol, even though she didn't have it. And yeah, he's throwing on the bus, and immediately Sam was like, "Oh, Dave is not with us," and they're kind of talking back and forth. And then Josh is talking to Chrissy, and Chrissy's talking to Dave, and Dave is telling her that the votes are going to be on Sam. Then Chrissy's telling, and Chrissy asked him, "Are you sure it's not going to be on Josh?" He's like, "No, it's going to be on Sam." What was it? Jordy was talking about how loyal Josh is, and then Chrissy noticed that Jordan on the jury is looking at Sam kind of aggressively, and she tells that to Josh, that Jordan looks like he's upset with Sam, which kind of I'm like thinking maybe that will sway him a little bit. They get to the vote. Everyone votes. They didn't really reveal who Josh, Chrissy, or they didn't reveal who Josh or Chrissy voted for. But as Jonathan asked if anyone has an idol and they're willing to play it, Josh turns to Mark and Sam, and he says, "You should play it. Should be safe. You should play it." And then Sam's like, "What? Why are you saying that? What's happening? Why are you saying that?" He's like, "You should just play it. You should play it. I really think you should play it." They don't play it. Get to the vote. 4 on Jordy, 4 on Sam, 1 vote left. Last vote was Sam. Sam ended up going home because Josh voted for her. He did that thinking, he was hoping that they would play the idol. That's why he was pushing for it so hard, and he would get to flush the idol and keep his majority alliance. But they didn't play it, and they ended up sending Sam home. So now I'm thinking he's going to have to glam on to that alliance that with Jordy that he didn't really want to do now, because they're going to end up in the minority because of what just happened. He was playing chess. He was expecting them to play that idol. He was pushing for it hard, really, really freaking hard. And he didn't want to reveal that he voted for her because he didn't want them to really know that it was him. When they played the idol, I guess he was hoping that last vote wouldn't have counted, because if they played the idol, the only votes would be counting would be Jordy. And once it gets down to like 4 Jordy, then Jordy's out regardless, because all the rest was going to be on Sam. But didn't work out that way. Sam ended up going home. Mark has 2 idols in his pocket, and now he's out for blood. And let's see, how many people left in the game? There was 8 before, now there's 7. 7 people left in the game. He has 2 idols. He can save himself at 7 and at 6. And if he wins individual immunity again, and that would save him for 7, and then the other 2 would bring him up to straight to 5, and 5 is the last time he could play it. I mean, he can really make it to the end, and if he does, he wins. But when they get down to that final 4, though, they'll probably take him out. Damn. No, but they can't. Wait, I don't think they can take him out of final 4, because then there'll be a fire making challenge. I don't know, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. Like, that was, I mean, great plays all around. I wasn't expecting that from Josh. And now Sam is out when they could have saved each other, which would have been better if they wasted that idol and saved each other. They still have those 2 votes, and Jordy would have been gone, and they would be in the minority. They'd be in the majority, and they could pretend like they don't have any idols anymore, because no one really believes that because the other idol, and they could still use it. Ah, boy. I mean, I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to the next episode. So till next time.